All right, welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because, let me tell you, the concepts we're going to cover are designed to directly and immediately elevate your everyday vocabulary. We're talking about taking your language skills from, just perfectly fine to incredibly expressive. Think about the speakers you admire the most. They don't just use words, right? They use phrases that paint pictures, deliver impact, and really resonate with their audience. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how you can do that too.
So let me ask you directly, do you want to speak better tomorrow? Are you ready to sound way more fluent, more confident, and just more natural by incorporating common, high-impact English idioms into your daily speech? Because that is exactly what we're focusing on here. You see, fluency isn't just about memorizing a giant dictionary. It's about mastering the actual expressions that native speakers use effortlessly to convey complex ideas in just a couple of words.
To make this happen, we're going to systematically break down 5 bonus powerful phrases. We'll explore their core meanings, actually viewing them through a Hindi lens to uncover some truly universal concepts. And we'll examine bilingual examples to build out your real-world fluency toolkit. Seeing that side-by-side comparison is just a fantastic way to really anchor your understanding.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Action and practice. Doing the actual work.
Let's kick things off with a universal truth. Actions speak louder than words. Just listen to the rhythm of that phrase for a second. Actions speak louder than words. It's punchy, it's direct, and it is universally understood in English. This is one of those phrases you can easily drop into a professional setting, a casual conversation with a friend, or even just use it as personal motivation.
The core meaning here is simple but incredibly profound. Work is more impactful than words. What you actually do leaves a much bigger, actually scratch that, it leaves a way more permanent impression on people than what you simply say you're going to do. Promises are super easy to make, right? But execution is what people actually hear and remember.
Think about it like this. If you have a colleague who constantly talks about helping out, but they're resting in a hammock all day while another colleague quietly pushes the heavy boulder up the mountain, well, their behavior does the communicating for them. His actions speak louder than words.
Naturally connecting to that idea of taking action, we have to talk about the necessity of repeating that action. Our second phrase is an absolute timeless classic, practice makes perfect. Now, you've definitely heard this one before, but its inclusion in our top 5 reminds us that fluency, or really any skill at all, isn't just some magical gift. It is the direct result of repetition.
The crucial point to remember here is that perfection comes only from practice. Continuous, dedicated effort is literally the only real path to mastery. You can't expect to confidently use these phrases tomorrow if you only look at them once today. Mastery absolutely demands repetition.
Just like tending to a garden, the more you practice, the more perfect you become. In fact, I want you to mentally practice phrasing this in English along with me right now. Notice the balance in that sentence structure? It's a direct cause and effect. Using a phrase like this to encourage a struggling friend shows immense support while also proving your own fluency.
But hey, let's be totally honest for a second. We've talked about taking action and practicing repeatedly, but what happens when practice gets difficult? What happens when you make a mistake or you feel like you aren't making progress fast enough? Because let me tell you, that is an inevitable part of the learning journey. So it's time to pivot our narrative from the mechanics of hard work to the critical importance of your mindset.
Section 2. Finding the silver lining. This is all about maintaining your optimism.
This brings us to a highly visual, deeply poetic idiom. Every cloud has a silver lining. Imagine a really dark, heavy storm cloud completely blocking out the sun. Now, if you look closely at the very edges, the sunlight from behind creates a bright, shining silver edge. That is exactly the imagery you're evoking when you use this phrase.
This translates to the incredibly comforting thought that there is some good hidden in every difficulty. Even when language learning feels like a massive struggle, or maybe when you face a huge setback at work, this phrase reminds us that hidden goodness, learning, and progress are happening right there,
just beneath the surface of all that frustration.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we use it. If a friend is going through a tough time, maybe losing a job, but that setback actually allows them to blossom into something entirely new, like starting a dream business, you would tell them, "Don't worry, every cloud has a silver lining." It's a deeply empathetic expression that immediately softens a really tough conversation.
Section 3. Willpower and hard work. Harnessing that inner willpower.
To tie all of this together, we need an absolute powerhouse of a sentence. Where there is a will, there is a way. I love this one. Notice the strong alliteration? The repeating W sounds in where, will, and way. It makes the entire phrase incredibly catchy and super memorable.
This means that where there is desire, a path is found. What's truly fascinating here is how success isn't framed as a matter of resources or luck. It's framed purely as a matter of desire. A true burning desire to learn, to improve, to communicate better will always help you find a path forward, no matter what obstacles are in your way.
If you really want to succeed, where there is a will, there is a way. Notice the direct condition established at the very beginning of this example? You have to really want to succeed first. The phrase basically acts as a guarantee, but only if that prerequisite of deep internal willpower is met. It's just a fantastic phrase to pull out when you're strategizing a difficult project with a team. And that brings us to our fifth and final phrase. No pain, no gain. Just 4 simple words. It is short, it is incredibly punchy, and it is entirely unforgettable. Now, while it's heavily associated with going to the gym and physical fitness, it applies perfectly to cognitive efforts too, like mastering a whole new language.
This cements a somewhat harsh but totally necessary reality. There is no success without hard work. There are no magical shortcuts to sounding perfectly fluent. You just have to endure the temporary pain of studying, of making mistakes in public, of feeling totally confused in order to achieve the ultimate reward of clear communication.
Remember, no pain, no gain. This is the ultimate self-talk phrase. When you're studying these concepts and your brain feels completely fried, this is the connection you need to make. The temporary struggle of wrapping your head around a new idiom is the exact price you pay for the incredible gain of achieving your language goals. Okay, let's do a really rapid recap of this brand new, interconnected fluency toolkit you have just acquired. Number 1, actions speak louder than words. Show, don't just tell. Number 2, practice makes perfect. Put in that daily repetition. 3, every cloud has a silver lining. Keep your optimism when things get tough. 4, where there is a will, there is a way. Rely on your inner determination. And number 5, no pain, no gain. Embrace the hard work required for success. Guys, these aren't just phrases. They are a complete mindset for achievement. Which brings us to a brilliant core tagline. Learn today, speak better tomorrow. I want you to treat this as your personal motivational rallying cry as we wrap up this lesson. What you dedicate your time to right now, in this exact moment, directly engineers the confident speaker you are going to be tomorrow morning. So, I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question. Which of these 5 phrases will you use today? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Your challenge right now is to take action, because as we just learned, actions speak louder than words, and intentionally drop at least one of these powerful idioms into your very next conversation. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to explore our next topic together.
Goodbye.